Nope, this isn't clickbait. I got rid of my new 23 CVO Road Glide. Let's talk about it. Some of you might have heard that I traded in my 23 CVO Road Glide Luann. I had a good run with her, but I had to get rid of her. But the good news is I got a brand new bike, and before I show you exactly what I got, let's talk about the CVO for a second. So let's start from the beginning. I got it about a year and a half ago, and right off the rip, I started having problems with it, mostly software issues, which wasn't a huge deal because Harley was doing a good job of pushing out updates. So I took it up there, got all the updates. The software issues pretty much took care of themselves. Now, fast forward after all the software issues, I started having a problem with my front forks. So my left fork wouldn't stop leaking. So I'll put up, I think I have a picture that I can put up on the screen. So it was up there a total of 3 times for the leaking front forks. Took it up there the first time. I noticed it was leaking, so they replaced the seal on it, got it back, rode it a couple days and started doing it again. But this kind of made me a little mad. When I brought it in this second time, they told me it's because of the way I was tying the bike down, and they knew this because of a prior video that I made, but that didn't sound right to me. So, you know, I was talking to everybody in service and whatnot, and I'm like, how do you tie these bikes down? And what I do is I take a soft strap, put it around the front fork, and cinch it down and tie it down, essentially. And everybody in the service department told me that's the way they did it. So I'm like, what the heck, man? So I contacted Harley Davidson directly. I called HD customer service, put on hold for at least an hour. Finally got this young lady on the phone, and I'm like, hey, so they're telling me my front fork leak was caused by the way I'm tying it down. And not to mention, they told me if this happens again, they're not gonna cover it under warranty, which is bullcrap. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So I'm talking to the lady on the phone, and I'm like, yeah, so do you have any guidance on how to tie this thing down? So she puts me on hold again. She does a little research, and then she comes back on the phone, and she's like, well, they do make these little hooks that you mount to the frame of the bike where you hook them. So she went to go look up the part number. Turns out they didn't even make those parts for the 23 Road Glide CVO. So she was at a loss for words, and she put me on hold again, came back, and she's like, yeah, I don't know. And I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do? I'm gonna have to trailer this thing from time to time. And she had no words for me. So I'm like, well, okay. So I get the bike back, they fixed it, and I was mistaken. I took it up there twice, they replaced the seal. Then the third time that's when they said it wasn't gonna get covered. But they replaced the entire fork, the front left fork. And after that, it seemed to be fine. I rode it, I don't know, 3,000-4,000 miles, all good. But then I ended up starting to get a front end wobble in it. And it was noticeable, especially doing tight turns to the left. You know, I make a lot of tight 18-foot U-turns, and when you're turning, it felt like the front end was shimmying. The bars would wobble back and forth, and then when I was going between like 35 and 45, I was getting a wobble in the handlebars, so that didn't feel right. And actually, the service tech actually told me not to say this, but if I were to take my hands off the handlebars and going 35, 40 miles an hour, the bars would start going into a death wobble. But they told me don't say anything. You have to have both hands on the handlebar, of course, but in my mind, I've never had a bike that did that, and it makes sense to me. I'm not a certified mechanic, but if you take your hands off those handlebars, I mean, it should still go straight unless you hit a big bump or something. So anyways, take it in there for the front end wobble. They get it in there. They said, we can't find nothing. Everything seems fine when you're cruising down the road with both hands on the handlebars. So I'm like, all right, cool. I ended up going, my wife just got home. So I ended up getting it back, get it back next day. I take it out to work, and sure enough, still got that front end wobble, and man, I'm mad at this point. They said that they didn't feel any front end wobble. Oh, and the kicker, I didn't mention this part. When they were trying to figure out the front end wobble, they said that they heard a noise in the primary. So they took the whole primary apart, didn't find anything. What they did find was my belt tension was super loose and the axle nut was backed off into the E-clip, so that wasn't good. But they think the primary noise came from that. And then when they were putting the primary case back on, they told me all the bolts snapped and they didn't want to rethread them or anything, so Harley told them to go ahead and replace it. So that's what they did. The bike was in there for, I don't know, about a month, exactly a month actually. So got it back. They said everything was fixed. Definitely was not. So I get it home after the ride to work and I'm inspecting the front end. I'm like, there's got to be something going on with this thing. So I'm looking at it, and sure enough, I'm looking at the front forks, and that left front fork, the dust cap cover for the front fork was all the way down to the bottom of the fork. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So I take it up there the next day. I'm just aggravated at this point, and talking to the GM and stuff, and I'm like, listen, man, we got to work something out. I've bought 8 bikes from this dealership. I mean, we need to work out some type of deal. So he runs some numbers, and he's like, yeah, we can get you on a new 25 CVO Street Glide. And I'm like, all right, not bad, not bad. And they said that they'd give me what I owed left on the CVO, which was about $6,000 more than what they're reselling. And I don't know if you know, but as soon as these 23 CVOs, well, it's not behind me anymore. As soon as those 23 CVOs sold, their resale value plummeted, made me sick. So I'm thinking I'm gonna miss out on a bunch of money that I spent, but luckily gave me what I owed on it. And he ran the numbers for the CVO Street Glide, and he's like, yeah, we can get you on there. You just have to finance an extra $9,000. I said, that's not happening. So I think about it for a couple days. You know, I'm scrolling online and I see a bike that I like. I go up there, and obviously I ended up getting it. So Rock and Roll Harley Davidson, they hooked me up, made it right. So let's go ahead and show you exactly what I got. There she is, baby. Woo. All right. We got me a 24 Road Glide Limited. I always want to call it an Ultra. Meet, what's her name again? Sophia. My wife ended up naming the bike Sophia. 25 Road Glide Limited in Blue Burst. And let me tell you, this color is phenomenal. And I will mention, I was a little weary. I was going back in technology. So I was used to all the bells and whistles, and in fact, I wasn't even really happy about getting this when I got it. I wasn't that excited. But after having it, messing around with it, man, this is one hell of a bike, let me tell you. So let me go ahead, walk around it real quick, give you guys a little, show you what it's all about. So here it is. My favorite thing about this has to be the color. It just looks so freaking good. As the Milwaukee 8 114, I've already done a few upgrades. So I was able to salvage some parts. I got my Zero 3D highway pegs on there. What else I got on there? I ended up getting the Soundstream Reserve V2 radio in it. Just got that in there this morning. Great radio. And then I have my Volunteer Audio, the Hertz speakers. I was able to salvage those speakers from the CVO, luckily. Still need to do the handlebars. I'm probably just gonna roll these up for a little bit just to get them a little bit higher because they're entirely too low, but that'll come in the future. Come around to the back here. I've got my rear suspension on. Those are actually shocks from Robert Simmons' CVO ST. Let me tell you, I never thought that I would say that Harley Davidson made a darn good suspension, and let me tell you, those are the truth. And then I got rid of that long old antenna. I got one of these little bullet ones, looks a lot better. And one other thing that I love about this, I'm a King Torpack guy, and this is hard mounted. It doesn't matter because I'm never gonna take it off anyways. Just look at the inside of this. This thing is beautiful. I have to start from scratch again with all the stickers inside the Torpack, but that's been an ongoing problem. I like this Torpack because you got a cigarette lighter back here. So I got a little USB-C cord in there. You got a little pouch right there. Great storage. I can't live without a Torpack anymore. Then although it doesn't have the saddlebag speakers, it does have the Torpack speakers, which I'll have to get new ones. It has the heated grips, so that's always good. You do have the analog gauges, which isn't a big deal. Painted inner fairing, which is huge. And then it has this, I don't know what size this windshield is, but it's tall enough for me. It's great. So I can go a little while without it, or without switching it. It does great. And then one thing that I've never had before are these lower fairings. And I never got the hype about lower fairings until I rode with them. I mean, they're great. I don't have anything like, I don't have any rocks or anything kicking up, nailing me in the legs, which is nice. They have these little vents right here. If you use this lever right here, you can open and close them. Oh, you can see that right there, opens and closes, and you get a pretty nice breeze in there. And then in here, these compartments, which I like, the CVO, you would have to press down on them to open them. These ones you just lift up. Oh, and I also added my soft brake extended reach brake lever. That makes a huge difference. Then the headlight on this is actually pretty good, but that's getting changed. All the lights are getting changed. I got a bunch of lights coming. So huge shout out to Eagle Lights. They're actually gonna sponsor all the lights. So I'm gonna have a video series of upgrading all the lights on Sophia. I'm gonna have to get used to that. It's hard to remember that. But yeah, all in all, I need to get a soft brake clutch lever because that friction zone's way out there. And that's pretty much it. I mean, this thing is beautiful. I never thought I would own an old style Road Glide, but I saw this and I'm like, man, I could really see myself on her. But yeah, that's it. I mean, I've already reached the break-in mileage. I actually hit it today. It's supposed to ride it 500 miles to break it in. Try to keep it under, I forget what the RPM range is. Right now I am currently at, it's over 500. I'm at 569 and I got this, when did I pick it up? I picked it up Monday. So I've been doing some rides on it. And after riding it, this is definitely a lot heavier. This is like 960 some pounds wet weight, and the CVO Road Glide was around 800-ish, a little over 800. So big difference, but doesn't matter for me because I know how to properly ride this. So I hopped on it and ride it like any other bike. One thing I still have to add is I have to add the drop guards. Haven't done that yet. And as I said, because I know how to actually handle this thing, I'm not worried about dropping it because I know what to do. Not saying it couldn't happen, less likely. But yeah, this is pretty much gonna be my long distance bike. I'm gonna be taking this to Just GQ's Release the Peace, and that's gonna be an awesome ride. It's gonna be about almost 1,100 miles, give or take, and this is what I'm gonna be bringing. I already ordered a new seat, Mustang seat, so definitely gonna need that for the ride. And the downfall is, you know, I am kind of starting from scratch. I gotta do all the upgrades again, but I'm familiar with how to do everything because I had the 17 Street Glide. I still have my 23 Road King and the Garage Sonic that I use for practice. So everything's pretty familiar. The only thing that's a little different is taking the fairing off. I've never done that before on a Road Glide. Street Glide, I could do it in my sleep. There was a slight learning curve, but I've already had this off about, I don't know, 3 or 4 times to replace the radio. I immediately put the speakers in there, so it's not a big deal. I learned how to do it, so now I can do it pretty quickly. So this actually leads me to my last point here. I actually took some notes, so let me go ahead and pull them up. Rock and Roll let me take all of my upgrades off of Luann, so which rightfully so, because I spent a lot of money in upgrades on that bike. So I do have some parts that I'm willing to sell. Here's a list of what I have left here. I have the rear saddlebag speakers, they're Hertz, and I have the amp from Hertz with the A to B module, what you need in order for the amp to communicate to the stock radio on the newer Road Glide models. And all these parts will fit the newer Road Glide models. I don't know if there's any parts that'll fit on the Street Glide. Probably the amp and the speakers will, but these two won't. I got a 10-inch Harley windshield clear, and then I have a 12-inch Freedom Shields, which was great. That's medium smoke, so it's tinted. Then I also have the Saddleman Road Sofa with backrest, still ready to be sold. Great seat, loved it. And unfortunately, with the older bikes, the tank is narrower, so that seat won't fit on here. I was pretty bummed about that. I also have a Custom Dynamics Magic Strobe. If you don't know what that is, it's the little module that makes all the lights blink. Can't put it on this because, again, different wiring. And then I have a King Tour Pack from Advan Black. It's paint match. It's the dark platinum, which is the silver, which obviously Luann was. So that's ready to sell, and it's gonna come with all the docking hardware and whatnot. And that's pretty much all I got for sale. So if you're interested, shoot me an email at contact@jogomotorcycleadventures.com, or you can just go over to my website. There's a contact page, and the website's jogomotorcycleadventures.com. So if you're interested in all that stuff, I'm willing to ship. But if you're out in Ohio and want to come pick it up, preferably, especially the Tour Pack, because that's going to be kind of a pain to ship and probably costly. I want you guys to let me know in the comments, what do you think about the new bike, Sophia? Every day I'm starting to enjoy it a lot more, especially the more I ride it. It's just so enjoyable, and the ride on this is butter smooth. I don't even think I have to replace the front suspension. I think it's a different front suspension. It's like double coil. I don't know. I'm no suspension nerd, but man, after switching the rear shocks, and those have the hydraulic reservoirs, didn't even have to adjust them because they're already adjusted from being on the Road Glide, the CVO, and this thing rides like a dream. No front end wobble. Fingers crossed this thing doesn't have any issues. One thing that I do like is everything on here is tried and true. So since 2017, they've been making all this. My Street Glide Sheila was a first-year Street Glide and didn't have any problems with it. So hopefully I don't have any problems with this. All right, guys, beautiful day out in Ohio. So me and the wife might go out for a ride here in a bit. But as always, this is Jogo with Jogo Motorcycle Adventures. Until next time, ride on.